You ever try to change and it feels like it's completely pointless? And it feels like no matter how long you do it, no matter how long you stay on this track, you seem to fall back into the same things or really see no kind of fruit for all this effort that you've put in. Yeah, I felt the same way before. But I have another question. What if how you feel isn't an accurate indicator of how you're doing? What if the feelings are just, unimportant in comparison to the things that you're actually doing, the actions you're actually taking? I'm gonna keep it real with you for a second. Over the last 7-8 years, I've struggled with some serious mental battles to the point where I stopped wanting to live, to the point where I tried to take my own life more than once. I used to do all kinds of different things like smoking, cocaine, drink alcohol, go to this restaurant where the women walk around half naked in lingerie every Wednesday and drink. I used to indulge in so many distractions to distract myself from the darkness that I didn't want to face inside. Even and after all this time of no longer wanting to feel the way that I felt and making progress, taking action to become a better person, to actually face the darkness, to overcome it, to, find God, to do everything that I can to escape the deep, dark abyss and come into the light that for a while that I didn't even think was a possibility. I didn't think it even existed. That's how dark it felt. And if we fast forward some time, things are a little different, but not so much so at the same time. I'm not suicidal like I was. But even today, after all this time, after I feel like I've conquered that kind of attitude of not wanting to live, it still persists. I still don't want to wake up. I was literally asking God, why don't you just take me today? What do I need to do any of this for? What's the point? I don't want to do any of this stuff. I don't want to hop on here and record. I don't want to do all these different tasks that I given myself to do. I don't want to do these disciplines. I don't want to go to the gym and lift weights. I don't want to train jiu-jitsu half the time. I don't want to do any of this stuff that is meant to sharpen me. I just want to throw in the towel because I feel like I'm being forced, because I didn't ask for any of this. But yet, here I am, enduring it anyways. I was thinking about it. When it is very easy to focus on all the things that are still occurring, it's easy to focus on the feelings of, man, why am I still dealing with this? And overlook the actual growth and the actual progress that you have made. Because as I think about it, yes, I felt this way. I'm not suicidal, but I don't want to live. I'm not going to try to make any attempts again. There's no point. I'm not going to do that. It's not my life to take. I've come to that conclusion. But despite all those feelings, I realized that I actually didn't fall into the same things that I used to fall into to escape. That I've actually grown more than I have given myself credit for, because the old me, as soon as these feelings would arise, he would probably smoke something, he would probably drink something, probably go play video games, probably do anything to distract himself from actually facing the feelings, actually sitting in it, dwelling in it, talking to God about it, or talking to whatever you believe in, So that's something that can be easily overlooked, because the same thing that you thought you conquered is taking up all the mental space and overriding the positivity and blowing up the negativity for you to just, hey, pay attention to me, pay attention to me. Don't worry about the progress and the growth you've made. Don't worry about that. Focus on me. You know, even if you don't do things for an extensive period of time, even if you just start something like in your 1 weekend, 2 weeks in, few days in, and you don't see any difference, you have to understand that a lot of the progress that you make is going to be invisible until either enough time passes or you become more aware and you can act, or you're actually tracking things on a daily basis. It's like, man, okay, I actually am doing a lot more than I was on day 2, 3, 4, you know. So all of the work that you do is going to take place inside of you first. And since you're in the process, since you're in the middle of it, it's often difficult to see how much you're growing. And especially in the beginning, it's a slow process. But over time, as you get sharper with this one new thing, this discipline, and you actually add on other things after you are solid with this first discipline, and now you're stacking different habits together, and you're creating a snowball that's, you know, hard to see at first because you're in the middle of the snowball, so you can't necessarily see how big the snowball is getting. But over time, as all these different things are compounded together and you stay consistent, then you really start to, you look back at some point and you're like, man, this is incredible. Although I still struggle with whatever feelings that I struggle with, that's not a clear indicator that I'm not making any progress. That's not a clear reflection of where I am in this journey. The feelings are just, they're just there as, I think, free energy. That if we become sharp enough that we can actually take the feelings that we feel and redirect them in such a way that is advantageous to us, that allows us to take action anyways. You know, although today, when I've felt those feelings, those impulses that I used to do popped up. They still show themselves. But with all the things that I've stacked, all the different habits that I've stacked together and continue to stay consistent with over time, as I gotten stronger mentally, I think, okay, that's cool, but that's not me anymore. That's who I used to be. That version of me is history. This is actually what this current version of me does instead. So instead of going out of my way and doing all that nonsense that's not going to help me in the long run, I know where it's going to lead me. I've been there before, so there's no point in walking that path again. I choose to do something actually more productive. Instead of playing a video game, I read. I'm going to read. Instead of going in there and just going to sleep, even though I just drove an hour, you know, from working, even though I spent way more time than I wanted to working, and I didn't get back until late 11 o'clock and almost 12, and it's past my bedtime. Instead of just going in there and just going to sleep and forget everything, I'm sad or this, whatever, I decided to record something because I knew that's what I had to do. And when you can keep commitments to yourself, it's a very powerful thing. And it actually helps propel you even further. And if you can remind yourself that in those moments where it's hardest, in those moments when those feelings that you think you've defeated resurface themselves, that it's really just an opportunity. It's really just a chance for you to take advantage and abuse. It's not there to hinder you, and it's not there to hurt you. It's there to just make you better, to give you a choice. What are you going to choose? I'm giving you these options. I'm giving you the familiar of what you know is it used to be your main escape that isn't the best, but it's what you know. And then you got the boom, the new habits, the things that you know the future version of you that you're working for actually is doing, that this is part of who they are, and if I do these things, eventually I'll become them. You know, many of us choose the familiar because it's familiar, and they can't live in the future. It's the unknown, unless we use our imagination, but that's a conversation for a different time. But we choose the familiarity side, and we feel good now, but shortly after, we regret the decision, and then we just get a little bit weaker as a result. But we can always come back. And I realize we're 11 minutes in, so just so I'm not making this longer than it has to be, because I feel like I could keep going, but I mean, honestly, you just come back tomorrow and talk. But if you made it to this video, or if you made it to this point in the video, I greatly appreciate you. I thank you. You know, it means more to me than you could actually imagine, although it doesn't. I've been told I don't really seem all that sincere. Anyways, I'm about to go on another tangent, but appreciate you. See you in the next video. Happy conquering. Adios for now.